Hey, it's time for TV Skywriter. There it is.
There we go.
We are live. Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of TV Skywriter. I'm Pat Murray, your host. I do the Durham Skywriter, that's Durham, North Carolina's online community paper. And today I felt this was kind of urgent, so I have Reverend Spencer Bradford from Durham Congregations in Action here on TV Skywriter. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, Patricia. I'm glad to be on with you today.
Absolutely. It's your first time doing this. This is so fun. You're going to like this.
All right.
Every now and then I run into someone who is really not aware of the work that you do at DCiA, Durham Congregations in Action. Could you tell us just a bit about what you do as an organization?
Sure. DCiA is an interreligious association of congregations in Durham of all different spiritual traditions. We're interfaith, and we've been working for the last more than 45 years to address poverty, racism, and violence in our community. And the reason that a lot of people, especially those who don't hear about us through their worshiping communities, are not familiar with us is because we don't do the direct service frontline work, but we help our spiritual community connect with those needs with the frontline organizations that are working. And part of our work over the decades has been, in fact, to help launch some of those frontline service organizations that are Durham's best nonprofit partners in the community, from Meals on Wheels to what used to be Genesis Home and Interfaith Hospitality Network, now Families Moving Forward, and a number of other organizations addressing poverty and homelessness and hunger in the community. We help launch as part of our mission. So a lot of our work is often helping with educating our congregations about the issues and challenges related to poverty, racism, and violence in the community, and discerning strategies to respond in ways that are not being explored or to address problems that are not being adequately addressed right now. So, for instance, while we have launched, as I said, a number of programs in the past, some of our more recent program launches over the last decade have included the Durham Economic Resource Center, the Yo Durham Career Readiness Program that's now merged into Partners for Youth Opportunity.
Weren't you also behind, or at least working with the raising the minimum wage to $15?
Yes, we were with the workers' rights organizations in the community. We were trying to create a bridge between those campaigns and our worshiping communities, and keep our congregations attuned to how this campaign relates to their spiritual values. So yes, similarly connecting our faith communities with the issues around policing and racial disparities and law enforcement in the community as well. So we identify ourselves as a bridge between our diverse spiritual communities in Durham, and as a bridge between our religious congregations and the hurting places in our community. And
great work. And actually, I'd like for you to point out your diversity, because it's not merely Christian houses of faith that are members of your organization.
That's right. For decades, we have also included the Jewish synagogues in the community, Muslim communities that are in Durham, the Unitarian Universalist fellowships in the community. And we also have been in building, and we have as member congregations, communities now, the Shambhala Buddhist Meditation Center, the Baha'i community in Durham, and have done collaborative work with the Sikh temple in Gurudwara here in Durham. So we're very receptive to building bridges to a wide diversity of spiritual traditions as we all come together to try to minister to the hurting places in Durham.
You're even more diverse than I realized. I didn't realize about the Sikh and Baha'i also. That's awesome. So let's talk about your fight to end hunger. I know that the SNAP challenge, which you will explain in a second, is coming up, I believe, on Monday, which will run through Saturday.
Yeah.
And that will culminate with the World Food Day celebration. So tell us how to take the SNAP challenge and why we should do so.
Okay. Well, first, an important aspect of this campaign is to know that it's connected to our CROP Hunger Walk that we partner with each year to raise money for world hunger relief and local hunger relief. Since 1975, we have been sponsoring this CROP Hunger Walk, which is a national campaign. We've been sponsoring it locally and distributing the local funds to several frontline hunger and poverty relief programs in the community. Mm-hmm. So after 40 years of this, we have over the decades raised almost a total of $4 million for world hunger, refugee relief, and with a quarter of that, almost $1 million, being used locally for poverty relief, homeless services, hunger relief work in our community. So we this year we had a very successful walk in March of this year, and we are closing out our collection for the year with this World Food Day celebration on October 16th. And part of what we wanted to do with that was offer another method, another practice to help people connect with the struggles of our hungry neighbors, as well as to become more informed about other aspects of the hunger issues in our country and in our state. So we were inspired by what some other communities around the country have done in relationship to a SNAP challenge, and wanted to lift that up here this year. So the SNAP benefits are the hunger relief program of the federal government. Used to be food stamps,
right?
And now it is, and now it's more regularly known as SNAP because you don't get the paper food stamps anymore. You get an electronic benefit card, but it stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, SNAP. Okay. And so the SNAP challenge, what we are asking people to do is to take a SNAP benefit challenge, to live on the to eat on the minimum SNAP benefit allowance in North Carolina, which is $4.20 per person per day, to eat on that budget for 5 days, and to take the difference between what they spent during those 5 days on food and what they normally would have spent on food during those 5 days, and contribute it to our CROP Walk next week to help close out our campaign collection this year. We'd like,
when you're saying,
go ahead.
You're saying $4.20. Now, some people spend twice that for lunch, and you're asking people you're talking 3 meals, right?
Yes, that's right. Yep, $4.20 per day per person. So there's some very practical aspects that we have for recommending how to do this. Now we know some very spiritual people in the community who practice fasting, for whom this would fit right into that kind of a discipline. But a lot of us aren't familiar very well with that kind of practice, and so we've got some practical suggestions for folks on how to engage, how to do this. We encourage people, you've got to think ahead about doing this. you prorate some items that you purchase at the store for the week, but don't use it all at one meal. So for instance, I'm getting some, well, for my doing this next week, I'm going to be getting some grits and some oatmeal for the week that to use for some of the meals. You don't have to count using salt and pepper and other seasonings that you already have around your kitchen and house. You don't. We ask that you don't eat food that were purchased prior to the challenge, or calculate what that would mean for your budget if you do use some of that, and try to. But at the same time, while if in doing this, people are going to change their diet. We want people to eat as healthy as possible, because people who live on SNAP benefit allocations for their groceries every month, they don't have that opportunity to make up for missed meals next week, for instance. And they often do have to work and carry on daily responsibilities just on that food budget. But we do want people to think ahead, to do some planning before they go, shopping and plan their meals for the week. But and we do recognize that for folks who haven't tried to do this before, or that this is going to be a really big change for, they might catch themselves cheating at times, which we want to encourage people not to beat themselves up if they do that, but to calculate in that extra that they spent that wasn't part of the plan into what they contribute to the CROP Walk also, so that our
smart
neighbors can get that extra also for their assistance. So 100% of the money that we collect for the CROP Walk each year goes to hunger fighting agencies here in Durham and around the world. And we want to push up that total as much as we can. In last year's walk in 2015, we raised the local portion, the local 25% that we distributed here in Durham came to almost $39,000. And we're hoping that as we close out our 2016 collections this month, we'll be able to push our 2016 local distribution on up to about 40,000. So
I'm curious, how is the food distributed? Because I did notice that the food bank moved from Gilbert Street. I think I saw it on Anger or.
Yes. Yep. They moved further south in East Durham. It's and yes, the food bank is one of the dozen local relief agencies that we help fund with the CROP Walk money. It goes to a dozen different organizations that reflect all the different places on the spectrum of assistance that people need to go to, that need to be part of our solution for hunger, to effectively get food to people who are hungry. So it ranges from recipients like Urban Ministries of Durham and Open Table Ministry that serve prepared meals at their regular serving sites to people who are hungry day after day after day. Includes Meals on Wheels, one of our first startup organizations in the 70s that distributes hundreds of meals to elderly and disabled adults around Durham by volunteer drivers. It includes the food bank that channels salvaged food from around the state and country to our direct service agencies. It includes food pantries, like the program at Mount Calvary UCC and a couple of other pantry organizations. It includes a dozen different ways and places in the community where people who need food assistance can get it in whatever form, whether it's groceries, meals, prepared food. These are all different ways we assist. One of our most recent additions, in fact, has been the SNAP benefit matching program of the Durham Farmers Market.
Oh, I'm glad you're mentioning that.
One of our priorities has also been to improve access for people in poverty to locally grown healthy produce. And this was one way that we were glad to partner with the Durham Farmers Market to achieve that, so that people who go to the Durham Farmers Market with their SNAP benefit card will have the amount that basically they can buy $10 worth of produce using simply $5 worth of SNAP benefits on their card.
That's a good deal.
They get double the value of what they spend from their SNAP benefit card.
And I did want to mention, since you did mention Meals on Wheels, I just wanted to throw this out, that they do have emergency help. If you know someone who's in need and they're just getting out of the hospital, they can get 2 weeks worth of meals.
Yes.
Every day for 2 weeks from Meals on Wheels. So just wanted
and a lot of these organizations very much rely on the involvement and work of volunteers to get their food out. And mentioning Meals on Wheels just reminds me I need to give a shout out that they are in particular need of new volunteer drivers to help deliver the meals right now. They've actually recently received some additional resources to provide more meals, to sign up some more recipients. But to get those recipients receiving those daily meals, they need some additional volunteer drivers. So
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I said when I would get a vehicle, and I just got a vehicle, that I was going to see if I could help out. I think Route W is near my house, and I think I can help some of my neighbors. So, okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. So I will do a write-up on that as well in the Durham Skywriter, durhamskywriter.com, and make sure that people know about that.
Cool. Thanks, Patricia.
Okay. Now, this SNAP challenge, again, so some hints, you said you're going to buy more grits and oatmeal. Now, in my case, I'm not Muslim, but I do observe Ramadan. And
yes,
that's really a cool thing to do, to fast during the day and have a nice little meal at night. So that might be a good, for people who can fast. Not everybody can.
Yes.
They say young folks shouldn't probably fast if they're too young and not healthy enough to do so. But right. Try fasting. And I usually make a giant vat of spaghetti for the week, and I know that definitely translates to savings.
Yeah. If we can. People are willing. We have also posted on our homepage, our website, DCiA.org. On the homepage there's more information about the SNAP challenge, including a SNAP benefit cookbook that was prepared by an organization in another community that was involved in a SNAP challenge for folks who were taking the challenge and practicing that for a week. So
how can we get a copy of that book?
Pardon?
How can we get a copy of that book?
Just go to our website, DCiA.org, and look on the homepage that you land on there. And the blurb that we have right at the top in the middle about the SNAP challenge, at the bottom of that explanation announcement, there's a link to the cookbook that the recipe book that you can download.
Awesome. Oh, I love that. I will also have that in the Durham Skywriter as well. Now, you wanted to also talk about what's it called? World Food Day celebration. It's going to be the 16th of October.
That's right. So for a long time, the United Nations has declared October 16th as World Food Day, as an occasion to remember both the hunger needs around the world and the resources that we have for addressing those. So we're doing a World Food Day celebration Sunday afternoon, October 16th, from 3 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon at the Durham Farmers Market Pavilion in downtown Durham, right at Durham Central Park on Foster Street. We are looking forward to having crowds of folks there. The program for the afternoon is pretty informal. We want people who have taken the SNAP challenge to come celebrate their participation with us, bring their contributions for the CROP Walk campaign there with them. Some folks who don't take the SNAP challenge may still be conducting food drives for us over the coming days, and we will be collecting food there as well, dry goods products and canned goods, which we will be contributing to Durham Public Schools for their school-based food pantries for hungry children and families in the community.
Well, I didn't know the schools also helped in that way.
Yes, we've been promoting with our congregations for the last couple of years relationships with their nearby public schools, most of which have some food supplementary distribution program for families in need. Some of them have actually have food pantries where they have bags of groceries for families in need. Some of them do a weekend backpack program for kids who need extra food at home over the weekends when they can't get the free breakfast and lunch at schools. Okay. So that's been an important area of work for our Durham Public School system that we want to also support and recognize as part of that spectrum of the solutions for hunger in our community. Contributing to that food drive is another way that people can participate in addition to or as an alternative to the SNAP challenge. We will be having representatives of these different local organizations that use our CROP Walk funds each year for hunger relief, giving some testimonials about how the money is used in their community and the work that they do to try to assist people in hunger and poverty in Durham. We'll be having live music from some local musicians. We will, in fact, be having some games there on site, some outdoor games that we're counting on the weather being good enough for people to really enjoy themselves outside. But even if it's a little drizzly, we'll be under the pavilion there. And we'll be carrying on and welcoming people to join us there under the shelter of the Farmers Market Pavilion.
Wonderful, wonderful. You know, there's two things I'd like to see happen. Even though I love what you're doing, I mean, doing beautiful work, but I'd like to see if I can suggest a couple more items, if you don't mind. Please mention them.
Sure.
When I was working for a very short time at the School of Science and Math over on Broad Street, I noticed that they had bowls of fruit out for the kids. And I was thinking, that's really slick, because you can imagine the kids saying, should I spend $1 for corn chips or have a fresh piece of fruit, which is free, right?
Right.
I'd love to see that happen in all the schools. I don't know if it's possible, but.
That's not a bad idea.
And then the second thing I wanted to mention, I have seen videos where apparently stores and restaurants in this country throw away just tons and tons and tons of food. And sometimes they're instructed to destroy not only the perishable but non-perishable items so that people don't dumpster dive and fish them out of the garbage can, or dumpster rather. In France, apparently it's illegal to throw away perfectly good food. And I mean, DCiA, I mean, you're pretty powerful. I don't know if you can affect the entire country, but maybe you can make it a local thing where it's illegal, or maybe point out that it's unethical to throw out good food. What do you think?
Well, I think that we need to be doing more along the food distribution chain to reduce waste and to improve salvage efforts. There's an unconscionable amount of food that does go to waste everywhere along the chain, from field to the garbage cans in our homes. And we need to be better stewards of the food that we do have in our country. From my years working at Urban Ministries before I started at DCiA, I know that there are a number of retailers in food wholesalers and retailers in our community and in our region, in our state, that do work hard at reducing waste and steering any unmarketable food that they have to food relief organizations like Urban Ministries, and particularly the food bank. The food bank tries to be that bridge between retail and wholesale food that can't be that they feel they have to take out of the chain for sale, and getting it to organizations and people who use it when it's still perfectly safe and healthy for consuming. But we need to get more people and more businesses and organizations participating in that and doing that for sure. With regard to the what kids eat in schools, yes, we want to improve children's diet. That's a major health concern. First Lady Michelle Obama has given a lot of attention to that during the last 8 years, and it's not going away. It is remaining a significant problem. Anything schools can do in terms of removing soda machines and putting and offering healthy alternatives is another important front in the fight against childhood eating disorders, obesity, diabetes, and poor nutrition. I know we've got strong partners. Jim Keaton in Food Nutrition Services at Durham Public Schools is a passionate advocate and worker on healthy diets for children. I know we've got people on our school board who have a strong commitment to improving children's health, but we need to give them all the help and encouragement and suggestions that we can about how that can happen in our school system. I personally have been very excited that just in the last couple of years, Durham Public School has started a school farm in North Durham near Northern High School.
That's right.
So that our public school students can get some direct personal education and experience on growing food in their community as well. That's got to be part of the solution as well, so that people recognize their opportunities to grow natural, healthy food in their own yards and gardens, as well as getting access to it through a healthy local economy with livable wage jobs.
That'll be great. And then maybe some of those fruits can end up in those bowls in the schools. And the reason why I like the idea of having the bowls out for the kids to grab if needed is that there's no stigma.
That's right.
Yeah. Of, it's just like, oh, you just grab a quick,
Right. It just becomes another snack. That's right.
So I think that's good too, because sometimes we have to think of the kids' self-esteem as well. They don't necessarily want to be targeted as being low income or whatever.
Right. Well, that's one step that I've been pleased to see Durham Public Schools take as well. Now there's no qualification that has to be demonstrated by students, no application to go through for students to receive free or reduced price breakfast and lunch.
Really?
The breakfast and lunches that are served are accessible for all students. So that
I
So
didn't know
that vastly improves the usage of the free and reduced price lunch resources in the community, and vastly improves the percentage of children in our student body who need that, who are able to get it. So that's been a big step forward by Durham Public Schools recently as well.
You know, that's really fair, because my mom was a teacher, and she said that sometimes we assume that kids who are neglected are all low income. She said she knew of some kids that she taught who were middle income and higher, who were neglected.
Yeah, yeah.
And hungry.
And we want to make sure that they all have full stomachs to learn on during the school day.
Definitely. Well, did you want to give us any more quick tips before we leave? We do want to make sure that people know of the website, DCiA.org.
Thank you.
For information and also to donate, right?
That's correct. And if you go to the, if you click on the SNAP Challenge information buttons there on our homepage, there's a couple of links in the announcement you can click on. They'll take you to other pages like our SNAP Challenge World Food Day Facebook event page, the Durham CROP Walk website, and some other pages that have some instructions about how you can help publicize it as well. If we want people to share about their participation in the event through their own Facebook pages and help raise the visibility of this with their friends and associates as well.
Wonderful. And of course, we'll all meet up hopefully on Sunday, October 16th, to celebrate our efforts, right?
That's right. Yep, we'll look forward to seeing everybody out there between 3 and 5 on October 16th at the Farmers Market Pavilion.
Awesome. Reverend Spencer Bradford, thank you so much for talking with us here at TV Skywriter. And also thank the Durham Congregations in Action. I'm just curious, there might be someone who is from a faith-based organization, community group, or house of faith who might not be a member. So are you accepting new members?
Definitely. People can contact our office at 919-688-2036 or email us at DCiA@DCiA.org if they'd like some additional information about membership. And they can also look on our website to see what congregations are already partnering with us and more about what we're doing.
Okay. Well, thanks again, Reverend Bradford. Appreciate that. And folks, you now realize that TV Skywriter doesn't just air on Sundays. If you have information that must get out, I can help you get that out. Just contact me. The quickest way is on Twitter at Durham Skywriter. You can also call 919-809-9682. My job is to share information. That's what I do. Thanks again, Durham Congregations in Action, Reverend Spencer Bradford. And you folks have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Ciao for now.
Thank you, Patricia.
Okay, bye-bye.